Well, glad to be back. I can't resist. It just arrived. They both arrived together. Which one first? No. It's in my hand. I'll have to do this one. Okay. I haven't read any of them. I hope you're not going to make me cry, please, David. Anyway, this is what the back says. My dearest brother, Colin Birch, rest in peace, passed away on the 6th of the 8th, 2020 of cancer. He knew exactly what was and is going on despite his illness. He fought to expose it all to those who would listen. His fight goes on through me. I will never comply to the insanity and evil we are witnessing. In his name and honour, I pray we will prevail. Your loving little sis, Lorraine. And there's a picture of him on the back. I don't know if you can see it, but this is the book. And I'll read whoever's in it before we start. I'll go from brains are sensitive to oxidative stress. I haven't seen the book until now. Right, sorry, I'm not really very good at showing the book, am I? Third World War. Written, produced and published by David Albert Yates and others. This isn't us being different. This is our difference. Cover design drawings by Gavin Wolfe. ISBN 979-8676-152-802. Contributors. I'll just read it as it is. David Hollingsworth, Claire Hollingsworth, Peabody, Gavin Wolfe, Kurt Hubbard Beale, Chris Beauregard, Amy Osmulski, John Southern, Donna J. Hawkins Walsh, Deborah Ma Moodier, Amish Space, Sandhurst 5, Matthew, David Allen, me, Mrs. Janet M. Walmsley-Heron, Carl Horsfield, Just Some Guy, Linda Hicks, Just Space Goat Farts, Tony the Fox, MC, John Graff, Carol Bennett, Patricia Cuswart, Richard Harbury, Betty Trees, Jeff Hooton, Paul Harvey, David Albert Yates, Paul Saville, Rob Wilde, Jaivir Bawajar, Peter Simmons, Ash the Bash, Joseph Robbins, Deborah Swindles Yates, Lee Kate Hunn, Brandy Harvey, Kay Slater and Amy Danks. And the front this is saying let battle commence, patent 2021. It's a fan spinning round. The deceit is being untangled. The mushroom treatment. We're kept in the dark for weeks, then brought out into the light, to be covered in shite, then put back into the dark. A virus is a repair mechanism. If it is to be, then it's up to we to guarantee that succeed becomes success. David Albert Yates, 2020. Dear people of the future, they are changing our story and so creating history in its making, which is nothing short of faking. Dear people, yet to come, they are taking our story into an history not of our choosing, all truths despised, covered in bold lies, and assault with hidden bruising. Dear future generations, they've created a narrative that's quite comparative to how it was in bygone days, bygone times. They've sold it to us as simple fate, when in fact it is continuous crimes. Dear to whom it may concern, they're changing our story for nefarious reason. It's nothing short of all life treason. Dear children of the future, the children of today, 2020, have been dumbed down. They cannot distinguish a smile from a frown. Dearest anyone who'll listen, we've been poisoned beyond belief, happiness replaced with abject grief, all souls stole by more than one thief. Dear future relations, our story time is short. Into the clutches of evil we're well and truly caught. We the people turned into sheeple, swapped our freedom for a big fat naught. Dear people of our future yet to come, please rise above our numb, rise above our dumb, and how we succumbed under tyranny's thumb. Dear people of the future, learn the truth from these seeds we're sowing. Truth with proof is what we're showing. Dear people of the future, we're an easy act to follow, but please do not create more snot into which you do not want to wallow. Dear people from our future, let this book become your suture, stitching you firm to your past. Learn about how our freedoms became trespassed, and how with every illegal ounce we were pounced and trounced before being bounced into our slaves' grave. Then you'll know for sure who to never forgave. Dear people, yet born, takes birth, stretch and yawn as truths newborns, and save your scorn for all lies. Be diligent and vigilant as truths are new samurais. Dear people of the future, find your brave at everything unnatural. Poke your stave, fend off the greed and its craves. Be free to be ye, not convention slaves. Our past into your present isn't a mystery. Once our story, not history, becomes your story. Turd forming, the fermentation of shit in our societies, by David Hollingsworth. Dear children of the future, it is July the 20th, 2020, or so they tell us. Everything is how it is meant to be. Nothing is how it should be by design. Why is that? Chances are that you've been born into a digital dictatorship, a dictatorship of bondage and slavery, and chances are that you are totally ignorant and unaware of it, as you were born into it. You were born into an already conquered, enslaved, sleeping people. So many generations into an already established slavery system. that it is now so ingrained into society that the people have lost the ability to even be aware of its presence, let alone the ability to do something about it. It is not something that can not be taught, but only realized. And what you do with that realization will be entirely up to you, the individual. But if you care to investigate and probe into the mystery of us, you will be overwhelmed with the ever-increasing onion layers of deceit that have been bestowed on the Western man in his ignorance to the total control and dominance of every facet of their lives. My aim here is to steer you to some key documents and events that have molded our reality, to help you to understand how this became so, and to prompt you into doing your own research. I may mention certain documents and events. You may be unaware of their existence. You may wish to conclude as to why that is, as this is stuff that they don't want you to know about. Where to begin? I found myself asking this question over and over again and again. Once David very kindly had asked me to contribute to this book, as I realized the immense importance of it, and hence where to begin indeed. At the beginning, I guess, at least the beginning of what we have reference to. Again, as I stated, my aim here is to give the reader or the listener some very brief pointers to key events, to help direct you to a higher understanding of how and why you find yourself in the world that you have inherited and now live in, hoping to provoke you into doing your own research. Because at the end of the day, a man convinced against his will be of the same opinion still. You cannot look things up in this growing culture of censorship and one-shot answers by asking Alexa or Sir, and expect to be well informed. And if you're completely unaware of the existence of certain documents, events, and passages in time, then you will never be of mind to even think to ask Alexa, to even search for it, as you were never even aware of its existence in the first place. A lot of you will die, not from the cold, but from the actions of governments, and it will all be done with your consent, without you even being aware that you consented. Name, please. Knowing who and what you are the keys to freeing yourself from a system that claims jurisdiction over your flesh, being by you consenting to be deemed a dead corpse, lost at sea, ill of mind, an infant, hence infantry, or ward of state, A thing, I can hear you saying. How can that be such? What a preposterous claim. Third World War is a very apt title for this book, but in point of fact, it is my strong belief that there is only and always has been an ongoing one world war, a war of usury against the Western man and all Gentiles, it seems, and here's why. When you notice everything is wrong, you have to change. The truth forces you to look in the mirror and either change yourself or to deny the truth. There is no other option. You either conform to the truth or continue living the lie. Some key events for you to research. This all started with religious cults and their claim on domain through deceptive means to enslave man through creating unum sanctum, which was the first express trust ever created, a canon law and commissioned by the Vatican under Pope Boniface the 13th in 1302. You're now in 2020. This trust staked a claim on the earth and all that lived upon it. Over the centuries, this claim has been perfected and stands unrebutted to this day. All roads still lead to Rome, you could say. Trust law is where all things are hidden and where all control is taken away from people. Research contract law to gain a basic understanding of trusts and the implications. A further step in perfecting this claim of usufructuary upon the people was the creation of the Sesquiu Quae Trust Act, commonly known today as your birth certificate. A usufruct is a legal right accorded to a person or party that confers the temporary right to use and derive income or benefit from someone else's property. A usufructuary is the person holding the property by usufruct. A usufruct combines the two property rights of usus and fructus. This, in effect, is your enslavement bond, and consenting to the titles given within that document is what enslaves you. The birth certificate is a trust fund that is under unam sanctam and hence owned by the Vatican, which is the head of the Catholic Church, in case you are unaware, which renders you a franchise to them. Don't take it too personal. So is the Queen. Anything and everything in debased Latin is a franchise to the Vatican. England, for example, or America Incorporated, all debased, Vatican owned and a usury slave to the system. You only pay taxes on the use of things that you do not own. So why do we pay income tax? Simply because you have used their title to trade under, and hence they tax you for using their title to trade. It is as sinister as it is genius. This act was said to have been passed by Parliament at midnight during the Great Fire of London in September 1666. This is where the term smoke screen is said to have originated from. What is really sick is that they have got our children singing about their own enslavement whilst in school. London's burning, fetch the engines, la la la, fake la la la. And no, it's not just a song. It's the occult mocking us in our blind ignorance, and is equally as disgusting as getting infants dancing round a phallic symbol, the maypole. In order to be able to detect the presence of this deception, one needs to familiarize yourself with the deception that is hidden and what is known as the hidden glossa in the text that is being used against you. To understand the importance and grammatical differences between ancient Latin, debased Latin, that's dog Latin, English, and the grammatical rules of English are vital in understanding the depths of this now worldwide deception that is now enslaving virtually every living man and woman on earth. Total global dominance of everyone and everything. As it is written, so it shall be. If you're still not convinced that you're unknowingly consenting to being of a slave status, then take a look inside your passport. The P stands for pauper. I kid ye not, as Dave Yates says. Or, if you've access to Black's Law Dictionary, 9th edition, look on page 239, and you will find an entry under Latin Capitas Dimutio Maxima, Latin maximum reduction of status, Roman law. The diminution of a person's legal status as a result of being reduced to slavery. That is how the legal system defines you legally. When addressed in debased Latin, full uppercase text like this is not English. Far from it. And he's done it in big letters. It is what is known as debased Latin. It's sign language and does not read grammatically correct in English. There are no references to this style in any style's manual. None. Definition of debased is criminal. This can be such a conflicting thing to grasp at first, that we were once free, living in harmony with Source, a Garden of Eden, you could say, but this has been hijacked by dark forces. These forces of evil, for some bizarre reason that is far beyond the comprehension of most, through orchestrated events and deceit, have destroyed the natural harmony of this physical experience for purposes of greed, control, and total dominance. This deceitful system, through the arts of collective delusion, has hoodwinked mankind so damn successfully for centuries that they have imposed it on virtually every sovereign nation worldwide. If not, we generally find that those countries are in a war zone. This is maintained through control of the curriculum and deprived access to critical information, which in turn ensures a populace remains illiterate and hence unable to detect the deception that enslaves them. The control of information is of paramount importance for maintaining control over the people. I highly recommend reading the books Weapons of Mass Destruction and Dumbing Us Down by John Taylor Gatto, G-A-T-O. Both are beautifully written and very compelling reads. In the 17th century, there was a massive surge by the Benedictine monks to correct all books to fit the new ideas for the century, completely erasing all ancient knowledge and texts. At that time, the years were written differently. When an event happened 300 years after Jesus Christ, they placed an I in front of the year, like little I dot 300, for example. In the Middle Ages, there were two terms used for the Saviour Jesus Christ, Christos being one, and I-I-S-U-S, Iesus, being the other. There are many examples of years preceded with an I to represent Isis. Sometimes an X was used to represent Christos. Did they drop 1,000 years by changing the I into a one question as they burnt all original books with library fires? And they are doing it again. So damn easy for them this time to alter the text when in digital format. They even tell you they're burning the books again, hence putting them on a Kindle, a fire starter. Food for thought, folks, as wars aren't won on the battlefield, but in the minds of men. Guys, it's very long, and I'm going to stop because I've got my washing in the laundry room and someone might want to put theirs in next. What a thing to stop for. But it's half an hour now, so look here. After I've sorted the washing out and everything, this is going to be worse than the last book. I'm not going to be able to put it down, and I can assure you I haven't read it. Just to you I've read it. It's only just arrived. Oh, what am I getting myself into? I probably won't want to stop recording either. I'll probably be up into the night. All right, you guys out there, all your names in this book were read out and mine included, so we've got a long way to go, haven't we? And I think you should, even though they can't probably stand my voice, you have to play it for those who can't read or can't see script text and what have you. They need to hear this. It's true though. I believe it. I really believe the truth is here. We're making history maybe, but we need to leave this in history, because if they're doing this and they've done it for so long, they're going to keep doing it, aren't they? God bless you. Good night. I'll speak to you soon.